everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about my absolutely essentials for colored pencil art. The things I can't do without when I'm playing with my colored pencils. So I hope it will give you all a bit of an idea what you can use along with your colored pencils. And yeah, how to make fantastic art with them. Okay, hope you enjoy. So let's start off with a very crucial part of colored pencil art. The paper or drawing surface. Of course you can use colored pencils on other surfaces than paper like wood and panel and even canvas, but I guess paper is the most popular. Here I have some examples of papers you can use. With colored pencil art it's important to use a bit heavyweight paper, so if it's too flimsy it will buckle and that's not very pretty. So yeah, you need paper that's a little bit stiff and sturdy and can take some beating. This is smooth Bristol paper from Canson, but you also have smooth Bristol from Strathmore. I really like this paper for colored pencil because it is quite heavyweight, and because it's so smooth you can get very fine and crisp details, which is perfect for creating fur. The only downsides about this paper is that you can't layer nearly as much as you can on paper with a bit of tooth. And if you like to work with solvents, it doesn't work that well on this. You have to be very sparse with your solvents, otherwise you're going to like lift up the color underneath. So if you want to blend on paper like this, it's better to do it with paper stumps or like those blender markers. But I really like this paper. I've used it a lot on pet portraits. Other paper I really like is the Stonehenge paper from Legion Paper. It is quite smooth, but it is more vellum-like. It has more texture than, let's say, the smooth Bristol. But apparently you have another kind of Stonehenge paper, the ones you buy in individual sheets, and those are lesser smooth than this one apparently. But it is a nice paper and it works well for me. And other papers you can use are the ones you use for pastels, but keep in mind that pastel papers are kind of rough. They're having a sanded surface, or like this is not really sanded, it's more like, I don't know, some kind of, a bit like velour, but finer. But it's going to eat away at your pencils really quick. So if you're on a tight budget, I wouldn't recommend it, because you have to buy replacement pencils quite fast. But the thing I do like about especially pastelmat is that you can layer almost endlessly. And yeah, you can get really rich and saturated colors that way. And also because this has some kind of velour-ish texture, you can get this kind of softness you would like when you're drawing furs for animals and stuff. So yeah, I really like that kind of paper for that. Also it is colored, so if you want to draw with white pencils, that's the perfect paper too. Also, not here right now, but I do really like the Fabriano Artistical Hot Press Cotton. It's a bit similar to the Stonehenge, but yeah, it's also heavyweight and you can layer very nicely on it. I like it very much. Also, very important when you're doing colored pencil art are, of course, the pencil sharpeners. This one I use the most. It's a Dahle 133. I almost never have any breakage with it. Hardly any breakage. It makes your pencils really sharp and it's easy to use. It has a little reservoir where you can, well, where it catches those shavings. so it's easy to clean up and to throw it away. And well, you're going to kind of put the pencil in there and then put it away. And if you're on the go, you can use these handheld sharpeners. I would really recommend this one from Cum. When you do it right, they don't break nearly as often as you would use a very cheap pencil sharpener. Not that these are so expensive, but they're more expensive than like the ones you can get in supermarkets or whatever. But they're very good. They can give you a sharp point, and yeah, they're really good. You do need to replace them when the blade is going dull, because that's when the breaking starts happening. So moving on to the erasers. The ones I really like to use are Kneaded eraser, basically just to lift the color up a bit so you can get lighter color nuances and things like that. And this one is just a regular eraser to just erase sketch lines and all that. This one I do like because it doesn't smear or leave marks or anything like that. It's a nice eraser. Yeah, and then blending mediums. I really love to use Zest solvent. It's citrus free. It doesn't really smell bad or anything, so it doesn't make you nauseous. It's made in the UK, so I heard from artists in America, for example, that they don't find this product there, but you got other alternatives like canson and things like that. It's also very good to use for oil paintings and all that, but it works great with colored pencil. I really love to use this. There are other alternatives to blending. If you're like I mentioned before, on the smooth Bristol, you can't really use the solvent, so you might want to use paper stumps. These are just dry blending mediums. They blend really well. The only thing I don't like about them is that they seem to dull the color quite a bit. And yeah, they get dirty, so you have to like sand them down to get the previous colors off. And then there are like blending pencils. Here I've got the burnisher from Derwent. It works well as a blender as well, I find. And the blender from Derwent, which I'm not so crazy about. It just doesn't work as well as some of the others do. Like the Prismacolor one works really well. It blends well. It doesn't leave any residue or anything, and it doesn't leave debris like this Derwent one seems to do. And you've got the full blender of caran'dache, which is all blender, no casing, so you can use the entire product up, which is quite nice and economical. And there's of course another way, and it's by using a colorless blender marker from any kind of brand. This one is from the Prismacolor, but you can use the Copic one or the Pro Marker one or any kind of colorless blender. Anyway, this one has a broad chisel nib. As you can see, it's been used quite a bit, and it works really well. Even on smooth Bristol, it works quite well. And it has a finer bullet tip. So yeah, if you're too scared to use solvent, then you can try one of these blending tools out. Also, when you're using solvent, always use a very cheap, inexpensive brush that come in packs for €1 or whatever, because especially when you're going to do this on sanded surfaces, it's gonna destroy your brush. It doesn't look pretty. Like, it will end up looking like this. It doesn't really want to go focus on it, but yeah, it's not pretty. When I am doing my sketching, I like to use graphite pencils. I don't really have a favorite, but I do really like the mechanical one, because it always has a fine tip. It never goes dull or anything like that, so that's really, really nice and handy when you want to do a crisp sketching. But I do like to use a regular graphite pencil as well. Wow, my speech is great. Sorry about that. I keep tripping over myself. And a Graphitone graphite stick, but this one is water soluble, so really handy for watercolor paintings or acrylic paintings, things like that, when you actually want the graphite underneath to disappear instead of stay. Also, when you're working with colored pencils, you will always get into this problem that at some point your colored pencil will be too tiny to hold. Like, for example, this one is like so tiny, it's almost cute. Look at the thing. But there's a solution for that. If you don't like to waste product and throw it away like that, you can use these pencil holders. These are from Derwent, and this one's in particular for the smaller kind of pencil, like the Prismacolor or a polychromos. You just put it in and then tighten it, and then you're good to go. See, you can use your tiny cute little stump of pencil till almost the very end. And this one is for the bigger ones, like the Color Soft and other Derwent pencils. For the highlights, I really like to use the Calligraphy ink from Winsor&Newton. I've been looking for a great product to make highlights or whiskers and all that, and I kept failing to find it until I stumbled on this one. It's nice and opaque, but you can make it really translucent with water as well, so it is perfect. And in addition, I like to use a liner or rigger brush to draw out the whiskers with, because it has a long brush. You can load it with a lot of paint or ink and then make a very long, nice, smooth sweep. Perfect for whiskers. And of course, gel pens are really handy tools as well for the smaller highlights and thinner, smaller hairs. And the ones I really like are the Signo from Unibal. It is a bit broad though, so if I need to do finer detail, I like to use the gellyroll by Sakura. It is a bit finer than the Unibal one, so yeah, it's nice to have a bit of variation. Let's see, what do we have more? I really like to use masking tape to tape down the picture or the drawing on a drawing board, so it doesn't move or shuffle or can buckle. And if you're working with paints, your paper will warp because it gets wet. But when you have it taped down, it will, once it dries, it will go back flat, back into its original form. So it's a really handy tool for any of these things. And a nice bonus is when you pull this off at the very end, when you're done, you're gonna have this really neat white border around your drawing, like almost like a photograph. So yeah, I really like to use this. And oh yeah, it happens to be in this pad as well. Glassine paper. I really love this because it is nice to, like, if you have like a drawing and you normally you want to rest your hand on it, you get all your oils on it, skin oils. If you put this underneath your hand and you start drawing, it won't smudge underneath and you don't get any residues of your hands onto your painting. So yeah, that's really nice. And also I always use this when I'm shipping out pastel pieces. You just put this on top of it and it protects the pastel painting underneath. It will not make the pastel shift or damage the surface. So it's really great as a protecting film as well. So that's that. And of course, oh wait, I almost forgot. When I am doing commissions, I like to make my sketch onto a cheap printing paper or one of those really cheap papers, and then I'm using this transfer paper. It's graphite. It's from Saral and it is wax free, and yeah, what you get is just actually a roll with graphite on one side. And the way to use it is like putting your drawing underneath and then lay this on top of it. I always stick it down with tape so it doesn't shift. And then put your sketch or your printed photo or whatever you want to trace on top of it. And then use like a pencil or colored pencil even, or a pen, to trace over it. And then when you remove the graphite paper, you will have your sketch underneath, a very clean one. Sometimes you do kind of need to press hard to get a visible sketch underneath, especially when you're working on velour paper. That's some kind of pastel paper. But yeah, it is crucial for things like that, because like, for example, velour paper, you can sketch on it, but you can't erase on it. So you can't afford to make mistakes. So with this, it is perfect, because you can do it right in one go, so you don't have to erase. And then you go over it with your pastels and you won't see the graphite left underneath. And then last but not least, of course, color pencils themselves. Well, there's a wide variety of color pencils on the market. You've got wax-based, you've got oil-based, of course you've got water-soluble ones, and even pastel pencils and all that. But yeah, I'm just talking about the normal color pencils right here, the wax and oil-based ones. And there are so many brands and from so many different manufacturers you can get that it can become quite confusing as to which one you need. And you've got student grade and artist grade. If you're just for the hobby or whatever, then student grades will do fine, like Faber-Castell art grips and brown sills and stuff like that. But if you want to sell your art or for commissions, I would recommend getting artist grades. Like the polychromos or pencils from caran'dache. Like I said, there are many of these, and these are some of my favorites. These ones, the G10 from Tombow, these just caught my eyes by the way they were presented in this cute little book-like cover. And there are 3 sets of these, each with 30 color pencils. I just have this one. I'm not sure which one this is, but it has the pale tone 2, the deep tone 2, and the light grayish tone. And yeah, in each of these maps there are like these 3 little booklet thingies, and they're so cute and so pretty. It's just really, normally you find color pencil in just a tin or a wooden box, but this is just something special, I think. That's why I like them so much, the way they present the product. And when you open it up, you will find like 10 cute little pencils inside. I've actually used these a couple of times, and they're actually quite well. They layer good, they blend well, They are wax, but they're quite hard, almost like the polychromos. So yeah, you can do pretty nice stuff with this. I really like them. And of course, my all-time favorite, the polychromos from Faber-Castell. Don't mind how messy the tin is, but yeah, this is the set of 60, and I'm using them almost in every color pencil piece, because these are oil based, and because of that their lead is quite hard, and like you can see, you can sharpen them really, really sharp, and because of that you can get these really great fine details. And yeah, I bought this set over from somebody who wanted to get rid of them, and then I found I really loved them, so I got all the other colors as well in the end. So I do have all 120 of them, just in different boxes. And of course the luminance from caran'dache, these are exceptional in light fastness. They won't get any light faster than these ones. These are just like super archival, so really great to use on commissions. I also use these together with the polychromos, because you can get really nice details with them, but of course not as fine as with the polychromos, since you can get these so sharp, and the polychromos, they hold their point longer than these wax based ones. But these are so packed with pigments that the color's just so vibrant and it bursts off your paper. So I really like to glaze with these and to use them together with the polychromos in a color pencil piece. They also erase well, they blend great, and yeah, they're just overall great. The only thing that isn't great about them is their price, because they're really quite expensive, but they are worth every penny you spend on them, or in my case every euro. So yeah, that pretty much covers everything about my colored pencil essentials. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a like, and if you don't want to miss out on any future videos of mine, then please subscribe onto my page. And I hope to see you guys next time, and thank you for watching.